Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'm going to talk to you guys and recap my time at the newsletter conference that I attended in New York City on May 2nd. I know I talked previously in a video about my expectations and how excited I was to go and kind of what I want to take away from it. And now I wanted to make a quick video for you guys telling you the biggest takeaways, what I learned, who I met. Obviously the conference was unbelievable. It was awesome. But it was, I was there at 9:30 and left at 4:30. So I learned a lot, had a lot to talk about. But I want to keep this video, between 7 and 10 minutes just to give you the biggest things that I learned. But first off, just want to say that the conference was amazing. Jesse and Ryan from Who Sponsors Stuff that put on the newsletter conference are fantastic. Event was incredibly well run. I would highly recommend, if you are in the newsletter space or you're looking to be or you're already a newsletter operator, go to this event. You will learn a lot. You will network with a lot of cool people. I guarantee you will take something valuable away from it. So I highly recommend going to it. Spend the money on it because it's worth it. I'll definitely be attending next year if they have it again, which they said they were going to, so I'll be there. But again, I had a great time, met some awesome people, and want to share quick takeaways that I learned from it. So Adam Ryan, who's the CEO at Workweek, which is a big newsletter company, community building company, gave a speech, and he kind of talked about active users being the key. So a lot of what he said was like, don't worry about the unsubscribers. Don't worry about the unsubscribe rate, because you'd rather have an email list of very engaged and active subscribers and readers than you would having just a big number of subscribers that aren't that engaged. So don't worry about people unsubscribing. Worry about having people that are super active and engaged with what you're writing. Because if they are, that newsletter is clearly for them, and you know who your audience is and how you can service them the best. So that was one thing I really took away from him. Then we had the CEO of Ezoic and the CEO of Industry Jive. They kind of were on a panel talking a little bit. And my biggest takeaway from them was how important gathering the data of your subscribers is. So this is something that I don't do very well and I want to get a lot better at because it's so important. One, it's important for like monetizing and advertising, because if you know more about your audience and your subscribers, the more that advertisers would be comfortable paying for an ad slot in your newsletter because they know they're targeting the right audience. So I need to do a better job at, figuring out if my subscribers are more male or female, their income level, their occupation, their age. Kind of just having that information can go a long way for advertisers. So that's a big takeaway for me that I need to do a better job at. I'm going to do that by adding kind of a survey into my welcome email just to gather a little bit info. And I'm going to scrape through my email list now and just kind of get a rough idea, because you can tell, right? If a girl's name at gmail.com or a guy's name, like I'll be able to kind of sift through and get a general idea of male and female at least, which is a start. But that was something that was super important, and I really took away from that. Just the creating polls, creating surveys, and just really understanding your audience and where they're coming from. But then from the other end of it, it helps you creating the content for your audience, because the more you know about them, the more you can tailor the content for them so that they're enjoying it and it's what they want to read. So it's about relationships with your audience and helping for monetizing. One of the other things, they had a panel up there that was with journalists and newsletter creators that are like news-based. So that was really interesting to me to kind of hear what they had to say about what they're writing about, kind of what they're doing, and where they see kind of like the newsletters going. Because being in the news, it's very broad. It's not niche at all. So it's hard for me to kind of create my own identity in that space. Like, what differs me from this other newsletter that has 100,000 subscribers that talks about news? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of listened very closely to that panel and enjoyed that. But a big thing is, they kind of talked about the difference between free and like subscription based. And I've always felt that I really want to keep my newsletter to be free because I want people to have access to this information. But, at the same time, with subscription based, with the amount of work I put on it, it would be like a lot easier for me to kind of like get some reward off the work. So I don't know. They kind of talked about, if you are subscription based, it's like, what do people pay for? I have to have something that people will pay for and that makes me stand out versus everybody else. And if I'm breaking news or reporting something new or something people haven't read, like they're more likely to pay for something like that. But if I'm not, then I'm not, sure I'm going to be able to have like a paid platform. But that was something they talked about, and just differing yourself. I think that I'm trying to still find my footing there. The way I bullet the news is different. How brief it is different. Kind of how I focus on politics and business is more mainstream, but at the same time, I feel like the way I just neutrally do it is a little bit different. But still trying to work through that, and they were a great panel as well. In terms of like people I met, it was so great networking with people, getting to bounce ideas off each other, and a couple of good ideas that someone was telling to me that I could do to just add to my publication, add to my writing. I really like the idea of, he said, because I kind of try to be an unbiased news source and because I read so many different publications to create the news I put in my newsletter, he said that I should do something maybe at the end where I call out BS of a certain publication or certain news source when I think that they're not being fair or they're being biased or being too opinionated about certain things instead of just reporting the news. I kind of like that idea. I feel like I do that a little bit where I'm trying to add stuff at the end of the newsletter. Maybe I'll do that once a week where I call out a publication for having what I think is a poor reporting job or too biased or whatever. But I'm always trying to add stuff. I do the charts, I do the quotes. I started adding like a once a week. Now I do a comic. So like I think that's a good idea. If I kind of did like once a week, I called out someone's reporting for being too biased. I thought I liked that. Or kind of doing a thing where I do like a politician or like a business person of the week, talk about them, why I chose them, what's going on with them right now, or kind of maybe call them out for something just to make things a little bit more, just to have the audience take a little bit more away from the newsletter for that day and just something more to look forward to at the end, maybe once or twice a week. All in all, the conference was amazing. Again, I highly recommend going. I took a lot away from it. I met Manny Reyes, who's from Bulletin Growth, who's my ads guy. It was great meeting him. I thanked him so much for helping me out. He's fantastic. If you're looking to get into paid growth for newsletters, check him out. So it was just a great time at the event. I highly recommend people going. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out my newsletter, The Simple American, in the description. But I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time.